Welcome back to ESEA Advanced Season 49. As always, we are here with CCG Esports. Now, recently, that hasn't looked that good. They started off great, 5 wins and a loss, but now a 4-loss streak. Yesterday, a close game, but just running out of steam a little bit at the end there. So hopefully today, they can change things around. They have a big game coming up against CarbonX Esports. And of course, it's going to be me, Twist, and Tucker watching it.
There we go. A stroke of bad luck has definitely come across CCG Esports, and that stroke of bad luck has to go away now. The line is starting to get close. The current record is 5-5. There's only 14 matches in the season. There's only 4 more matches. And if we don't win out, things have the potential to get very dicey.
Yeah, for sure. So again, a big game coming up against CarbonX Esports. Now, they have pretty good results recently. It's not going to be an easy game. If we look at rosters, might be some familiar names if you watch some ESEA Advance, but either way, CarbonX are currently on 6 wins and 3 losses. So they're definitely looking to, finish off the season with a bang, and CCG Esports are trying to kind of salvage some of the things that they've lost in these recent games. So as always, we're going to have Floridia, JJ, Rin, 2 RPM, and Trip. And on the other side of things, well, they have 2 subs, but I believe their main lineup is going to be the one you see on screen. Now, let's talk about the maps actually. It is going to be a bit of an advantage for CCG. As we know, they do love their Anubis, and if recently they've played some Ancient and Inferno, which just didn't work out at all, well, today is a chance for them to prove themselves on one of their home turfs, Anubis.
I would I would beg to differ. I would beg to one up you. This is not just one of their home turf. This is the home turf. This is CCG's stomping ground. This is where they are bred and born. Anubis has been their haven throughout the entire season, throughout most of last season as well. Haven has just been a map that they connect with very, very well. So I'm hoping for good results on this map. And I mean, CCG kind of needs it.
Yeah, for sure, they do need it. And I think they first of all need a good start. We've seen some other games recently where they just start off on the wrong foot. And I feel like CCG is a quite of a momentum-based team, right? Like if they're doing bad, it just kind of keeps on going, from getting bad to worse. But if they start off good, they have a pretty good potential at locking it down. So yeah, as you said, it's great to see Anubis, definitely their home turf. I mean, this is my first season casting for CCG, but from what I've heard from you and the other casters, Anubis is one of those maps that they just love to play. So hopefully today, with all the stars aligned for them, they should be able to get their 6th victory on the board.
Feel like it's definitely needed. There is still potential for them to go into the playoffs with a score record of 9-5, which should put them solidly in the cut. But that's not guaranteed. I'm not quite sure about how many other teams have 10 wins yet, how many other teams have any more wins than that. I'm not sure how the cut is looking at the moment. All I know is that CCG is starting to toe on the edge of elimination and not. So it's in their best interest to win every single match that they can.
Yeah, starting on the better side of things, T side on Anubis should be a bit easier than that CT side, and Trip is making the first damage there, connecting some long range shots, but not too much. Oh, Trip, as right as I say, not too much. He does that, but the push actually comes in. Big frags coming in, but refrag by JJ. So down to a 3v3 now. Still some engagements towards mid. Trip already got one. Yeah, they don't want to re-peek him again. The normal op player is also great with those one-shots yesterday. Some sick shots with a deagle, but now the bomb site is going to be under attack, and Ellis retreats back. Pretty smart from him just to stay alive, but that is going to allow CCG to plant, and now after plants are one of CCG's strong points from what I've seen, so this should be a pretty easy lockdown, although that B side is quite easy to retake sometimes. Ooh, Ellis, especially hitting shots like that. That's going to be a bit of a problem for CCG. 2 alive, but the HP is not really there, and JJ out of the picture as well. Florida has to do it all, and unfortunately eliminated with no answers. So a 3v3 turned 3v0, and even though they get that cash, nothing else is going to be on the board here, Tucker.
Retake was perfect from their opponent's CarbonX. Man, you can't really fault them for that. They played a perfect take. They had a couple of shots, 3v3 going into the site, and then it was just everyone on CarbonX, starting off with that sick one-tack flip from Ellis. I mean, Aim Labs has been booted up. They've got a lot of hours on it, obviously. That was a good shot. I wish I could do that every single shot. I'm sure anybody would, but that's not always the case. And Ellis hit a good one this time, but that might not be the case for next one.
Yeah, I mean, great start from Trip as well. As I said yesterday, you weren't here, but man, you should have seen that Deagle clip he hit. It was an eco round. He pretty much just single-handedly locked down the A side against Rifles with a simple Deagle, and great to see that. As you said, he has been keeping practice on that aim labs. But wow, actually, they've planted. Hold on, what is this CCG? Surprising us big time, getting the plant down now 3v4, but still. Time is slowly ticking down. Now they just have to survive, have to run down the clock as much as possible. It's going to be hard with this backstop coming in as well. But 9 HP, KZ still somehow makes it work. It's not good for 2, but the rest of the team is there to refrag. Now Trip left with a Deagle. I've hyped him up. I've hyped him up enough, but he's just not able to do much there. Taken down by a headshot.
Getting deja vu from the pistol round. It was a fantastic start for CCG. Yet, next round did not happen. The post plant position was not good enough. The triple P is causing me problems in the vocal cord area, but we got it out. So the second round going the way of CarbonX, thanks to the retake of their. I'm already seeing this team to be very heavy on the retakes, and considering this is the stronger T side of CCG, that worries me just a little bit.
Yeah, yesterday as well, that was a bit of a problem for CCG. The team they played against, I believe, Final Form. They were also really good with those refrags. They could almost never, CCG could almost never get a double as soon as they got a frag. There was somebody refragging. I like that boost though. Trip boosted up with the op. Unfortunately, now exposed. Oh yeah, when you peek Trip, he's gonna eventually hit that. MJB goes down. That's again a great opening from the team leader.
Trip's got one with the AWP. As MGB, what were you thinking? You peek them once, twice, 3 times, 4 times? I mean, you got your information. Don't get too greedy or else that can happen to you. And in this case, it did. Third round looking really nice for CCG at the moment. They've got a 1-man advantage, taking this really slow over the east side of the map. A site looks to be the haven of attack for the CCGT side, and in comes the flashes, in comes the smoke, but the Molotov is really good. K2 has a fantastic shot with the MP9, but Ryan and 2RPM clear the rest of site out, and that's already a plant, and this one looks a lot better for CCG's post plant, as Trip has another one with the op.
Yeah, especially when Trip is hitting shots like that, they might have retaken the site twice, but seems like it's not going to be 3 for today, at least for now. Great site take, great read as well by CCG. We saw there in the minimap, while he was casting, I was looking at the minimap like, hey, A site is completely open, just go there, guys. If I could scream it over, I would. But yeah, they do get the site. I mean, help eventually arrives. A little bit on the down low, I'd say, with the refrags. Kind of could have been a bit better, but hey, CCG are still doing amazing in this round. First rifle as well, so that just shows that perhaps they lost the pistol and the second, which were both actually close. Bomb plants were down. When it comes to the rifles, they've definitely come prepared.
That they did. Need to do it a little more though. It got a great first round on the board, as it took them a little bit longer than I was hoping for, but hey, better late than never. And 1-2 is not the worst scoreline in the war, especially considering their opponents going on to the eco round. Things have definitely looked worse from here, as they only have 1 M4 to go up against, which definitely helps them. All they got to do is isolate that M4, get rid of that, and that should be pretty much wraps. You also got to watch out for that Zeus, which since the rework has actually shown to be somewhat competitive.
Yeah, I don't know how, but it seems like the Zeus is it's kind of like luck is even given your way. Every time you buy Zeus, just Lady Luck smiles at you and is like, ah, nice, I see you, I'll give you a free kill. Because even in like tier 1, pro play, like a big major tournaments, I've seen just the Zeus being used, mainly by Robs, but still a very good weapon there. But yeah, as you said, this should be a pretty much just normal stand, just, normal round by CCG. Just kind of do the normal execute. Don't go alone, you don't want to, when you're up against pistols, you don't want to just go down to a pistol and there's nobody to refrag you. I think as long as they stick together, they should be good. That M4, though, could be the only one wreaking havoc if, it goes unchecked. Actually, they're gearing up towards A. The Execute comes in, but they have the read on this. All right, here they go. The USP, close range, not able to do much. Now, 2 players are on site. Could catch somebody off guard. They do, but only one. And PL is actually still in the picture, not anymore, as Rin waves goodbye to him. It's a 2v3, smoke down as well. A hard retake, especially when you have USPs to your name. This should be just standard procedure by CCG. It actually proves to be a bit more difficult. Feral, how is he still alive? Finally goes down. 1v3 now. Actually 1v2. USP does some damage, but there's no way. There's no way, right, Tucker?
No, not like this. The Zeus should not get anything here. Up goes the USP one more time. Looks for one shot. Headshot. Does a lot of damage, and TCG, the op goes down! No, wait a second. The op does not land. CCG
Lord.
sneaks away with this round. And oh my goodness, that they could have got away. They could have just snagged the op. That would have been a successful eco round.
Chills on that last one we won, you know, because he picks up the op as well. I think he even spotted the, you know, like a leg or an arm there. That was a bit too close for my liking. CCG definitely making some mistakes there, you know, just over aggression, Trip peeking. Yeah, he knows that he's up against a USP, but still op is a one-shot weapon, and if you miss your shots, well, things that happen to Trip can happen to you as well. So don't peek alone, even if you know you're up against a USP, but still they logged around down, and now coming to a 2v2, this would be a great way for CCG to put themselves in front. Seems like this time they're going heavy on B, but not exactly committing just yet.
ELX places a smoke down in a great position. They do have to watch out for Trip on the on top of that platform, as that's going to show to be a bit of a problem for this CarbonX defense. Trip and Co decides to go back. B side looks way too secure, way too stable. So they fall back a little bit. Maybe try to go up through mid, fish their way around the back of B, or maybe A. It doesn't seem too heavily defended. I believe it's a 3-2 split for the defense, so they're careful. This could go either way. However, I see a bit of a crossfire on the midpoint of that map. Feral.
Yeah, perhaps looking to scout out a little bit, but yeah, CarbonX are making no rotations just yet. There's still two players on A. Oh, the flash comes in, pop flash is perfect, and 2 RPM goes down. That also gives them a little bit of info that perhaps B is, you know, still heavily contested on the other side towards long. So they're not exactly going to rotate. Actually, going to send one player towards mid. Beg my pardon. Oh, look at this. Look at the mini map. Once again, CCG had the perfect opportunity to take side, but Feral, he's just been an absolute animal with that MP9. Gets a double and Trip looking for E-frag, but can't do anything. Feral and PL shut down the B side. Meanwhile, Florida goes down towards spawn. And that's an unfortunate round loss for CCG. You know, it looked almost perfect. One player on B site, all you have to do is take him down. Pretty much have the bomb plant granted.
A pop flash from Connector. I was worried about that the entire way. It was a 2 versus 1 from middle. CarbonX had that the entire time. So now we got an eco round for CCG side, which is definitely not the best situation that CCG has been in. I think I see a Deagle, which is going to have pop-up potential. We saw what Trip, well, you saw what Trip did last night with the Desert Eagle. So we always got to keep Trip in this game if he's got a Deagle. We can never count him out. However, JJ Chinchilla not so much, as the op takes him down immediately.
Yeah, I mean, still a 4v5. Don't count out CCG just yet. I mean, we saw what they did in second round with only pistols. They were able to take site. This one seems to be a bit harder to crack, though. Not really any map control or advancements made, and they've lost a player, so especially with pistols only to your name, the task becomes increasingly more daunting. Still a 4v5. Very slow play here by CCG. I think they're just waiting for Carbon to perhaps make a mistake, but the exact opposite is going to happen. K2 take down one, and refrag does come in. Ooh, hold on. Hold on, the timing should only be perfect here. Well, Trip does get one, but only Floridian now left alive. Has to complete it all. Looking for the quad here to win it, but I think he's just getting thrown down, and Pistol on the other side is better, so that's going to be 4 on the board for CarbonX, and they're starting to run away with this a little bit, and we know how momentum-based CCG can be, so, you know, they just can't give more than 3 or 4 rounds in succession here to CarbonX.
Oh, CCG's got to get back on the board as soon as possible, as I believe if they lose this round, they'll probably be on either an eco or a force buy if they decide to buy up with some MAC 10s or some other cheaper guns as well. I mean, we already see a Galil and a MAC-10 coming out from the CCG side, and the streak is absolutely favoring CarbonX, so they've got to be really careful. And peeking, that is not how you do it. I respect the confidence, but sometimes it's just not meant to be. And MJB taking down Floridia, punishing him for pushing through the smoke. And that's already a 5 versus 3 in favor of CXC. CCG is left with the rifles, but one of them is a Galil, and they don't have that much utility to work with.
Yeah, a minute left on the clock, but that's pretty much the only thing going CCG's way. The fact that they still have options to explore the map. Other than that, I mean, there's 3 players alive. Kind of disjointed as well. This is going to be a big engagement. Ruin Peaks actually gets a frag. That's good. If they could only secure mid control, split the map in 2 parts, at that point they could try to just overwhelm one of the sites. Another big engagement, and RPM actually comes out superior as well. What Trip couldn't do with the op in this round, RPM seems to bring justice. 3v3 now. Now with 40 on the clock, CCG have to slowly start committing to one of these bomb sites.
Only got 30 seconds to go. That is still a bit of time. B site definitely weaker. CCG looks to favor that one. K2 might get there, but they might get there a little too late. That's going to be the difference. Oh, nice shot. K2 has one. They look for the second. Not quite easy, but the op connects. To the 2v2. It's an M4 op versus a Galil N op. A little bit more economy on the CT side, a little bit more utility as well. Looks like they might actually try to save this. No, nice drop down. JJ Chinchilla is expectant. 1 versus 2. We've seen these clutch stop before, but the bomb's going to make things a lot harder as the op in hand. Not the weapon I think of when I think clutch potential. Likely going to be saved away, and the LX2 looks to do that.
Yeah, he's actually looking for some exit frags here. That's a bold move. Somehow still gets away. Not spotted, so I think he should be able to save it. Yeah, definitely takes a lot of damage, but still remains alive. So the op in picture for CarbonX, but hey, that was some great plays by RPM there. You know, almost single-handedly winning the round, getting his second, I believe, the 4th frag as well. Putting CCG on the board. Now, that post-plant positioning could have been a bit better. You know, it's a very high risk, high reward play to just stack 2 connector, because if the enemy team has a molly or a smoke, you know, they can defuse and it's very hard to get back on site, but still works out for CCG. Now, one thing I'd love to see more on side of CCG is just playing together, you know, that even though they won the last round, the first 2 players they lose, there was no refrag potential for their teammates, you know. Trip goes down with an aggressive peek, sure, but then that second one just single-handedly peeking, but now Trip looks to redeem himself for maybe the mistake he made in the last round. That's a great first opener, and I think this will keep CarbonX guessing, as they're starting to heavily lean towards B, but CCG have not committed at all yet.
That was one of the reasons why they won the last round so fluidly, was they didn't commit heavy at all. They waited until they got overload on the other team, and it was all wraps from there. As CarbonX started off very aggressive, got a couple of picks, they knew that they were going to push over. So CCG decided to stay back, let the rest come to him, let the rest come to them, and they were able to win the numbers game. Rather, the position game.
Yeah, for sure. Great to see CCG bouncing back as well. You know, again, from the games that I've seen, it just seems to me that if they lose 3 rounds in a row, it just becomes the more rounds they lose, the more increasingly harder it becomes for them to come back. And so it's great to see that, you know, after just 2 rounds, they're able to put 2 back on the board. And now Ellis, a cheeky position there, he does get RPM. Unfortunate, but shouldn't be too much of an economical burden for CCG. They're still looking for him. That nade isn't gonna do much. Yeah, some leg damage perhaps. But now, all equal on the board. Now, again, this is a quite heavily T-sided map. I'd say even as heavily T-sided as Ancient, you know. So, would be great to finish off the half in lead. Even 7-5 would do wonders. I think CCG are in a great way to do just that. On a great path.
Yeah, they stopped CarbonX's path before they got too far. The farthest score was 4-2, and now it's 4-4. So hey, we're all evened up with a chance to go up at the half at 8-4. This is still anybody's ball game. And this is still looking really nice for CCG. All it takes is a couple more rounds, and they are going to be in the money. As one peek from MJB sees the op, and they run away. No need to peek that. That is a pretty wise move.
I'll tell you one thing though, MJB there getting fully flashed and not moving an inch. I mean, the man has something of steel. You know, that was a pretty interesting one. If somebody peeked in there, he would go down, but nothing really happens there. So a bit of a standstill here. I think CCG should know that, you know, perhaps not that everyone is on USPs, but at least that, you know, the buy is low. But it seems like they're just kind of waiting for perhaps some aggression. But I think like if either side doesn't want to push, then at one point CCG will have to, due to the constraints of the clock. Ooh, Rin. Somehow that's a wall bang. Great stuff, CS2, and he gets another one. Okay, round over. Should be 3v5, and Bomb is actually moving. Well, it's not moving towards A, but A side is clear, so it should. I think this is just a default round for CCG to win.
Very likely. We did see the near 1v3 though with pistols in the third round though, so we can never count them
Don't
out
remind me.
until
Yeah.
it is over. Feral goes down. 2 versus 5. There is an M4 in the hands of one of the CarbonX players. So it's never over until it is over, but it's surely looking like we are nearing that. Especially if they want to save that M4, which I would not blame them at all.
Yeah, I think that would be the best decision. Perhaps look for some exit frags, you know, while you're at it, especially the guy who's on Deagle. You know, why not? Why not? You can afford to lose $700 next round. You're buying up either way. Actually, might be an engagement here, and PL definitely has the better positioning, but JJ has the better aim. PL goes down, and again, it's just great to see CCG, you know, being somewhat dominant in these last couple of rounds, especially again, you know, maybe for the people just tuning into just this game, you haven't watched the previous ones. CCG have lost 4 in a row, and it hasn't been easy. You know, some games have been really close, so you know, we're all rooting for CCG to finally put a victory on the board, change their mental a little bit, and you know, ultimately be ready for those last 3 games of the season to put themselves in the playoffs. Timeout's going to be called though. Definitely CarbonX losing 3 in a row now has some time to think about their options.
I did really like this decision from CarbonX. They have been shut out for the last couple of rounds, and I think a big part of that is simple over-aggression. They had a really great start, and then they tried to ride that through to the next rounds, round 6, 7, 8, and 9, but that's just not the case. You've got to keep going one round at a time, one play at a time even, and you can't get over-aggressive. There are, of course, moments whenever you want to throw everything at the wall and just try to rush through and break down the other team, but CCG is starting to get comfortable on this map, and that's something that you cannot afford to lose if you are going up against a team that's comfortable on a specific map. You've got to stay vigilant. You can't push out. You can't take unnecessary peeks because CCG, and most specifically Trip, is going to destroy you every time.
Yeah, if anything, I think that timeout actually messes a little bit with CCG's momentum. You know, sometimes you're kind of in that flow state where you're just getting round after round, you don't think too much, and then that timeout might cause things to change, but Floridian seems to put an end to that discussion. He's get the first frag. PL goes, still stands on the side. RPM's Molly's gonna take one down, but they still have to eliminate PL, who's on bomb side. He's been good for one, but now on low HP. Molly's gonna clear all angles, so much util on the side. Can't exactly plant immediately, but now the bomb will go down. So another 3v3 retake. Last time unsuccessful, but was with pistols. This time Trip still alive with that op. If he's good for one shot and CCG can just run down the time, I think they should be good. Again, I think they should, because CarbonX have had some insane aim rounds recently. Sometimes that's all you need, but Rin, that's all that CCG needs. Gets one. Ooh, Trip, hold on. He gets smoked off. This position will be checked as well. Not like that. It looked so great, and just suddenly, in a matter of seconds, everything falls apart. Bomb defuse is going to come in.
Little closer than we might expect, considering they don't have a kit, but it is still, it's diffused anyway. And I don't know how Trip got shot there at the end. Maybe did they see the gun barrel through the smoke?
I'm not sure either,
Maybe
but
it
I
was a
feel
pod
like,
shot. I don't know.
yeah,
It
I'd
was
go with that.
it was a shot through the smoke that had a very low chance to hit, and it happened to hit, and Trip was on very low HP. Unlucky, but still in the lead. The timeout obviously worked for CarbonX, And this is where the momentum can really get solidified going into the second half, because this is still anyone's half, 2 rounds in a row, and they go up 7-5, whether that be CCG or CarbonX Esports. So these 2 rounds matter so much more than you might think.
Yeah, they pull it back. That timeout definitely works out for them. If anything, again, I feel like it could have broken CCG's momentum just a little bit, starting to overthink, overanalyze. But either way, I mean, they still have 2 rounds to play with here. And even if they get 7, that's still great for Anubis. Now, granted, they do have to get those 2 rounds. I think there's a CS2. We're getting CS2'd again. Everything is frozen.
Very nice. We're loading back in.
Oh, well.
Everybody, sit tight. Hold on. Here's some action. All right, here we go. We got a 1v1, 1-4-1 rather. 2 RPM and Rin catching up, getting a couple of kills. Peeking out, looks for the wall bang is Ellis, and it's just a little bit lacking. 2 RPM pulls out the Glock, and CCG gets to 6 first as we go to the last round of the half.
Yeah, that was a crucial round to win as well. It's so much better to win this round than to lose this and then try to go for the win in the last round. Why? Well, because look at the cash in CarbonX. They're not able to buy much, so that round completely breaks their economy. This one should be a bit of an easier fight. Again, we're not really aware how much CCG is aware of the economy, but I think as soon as they hear that first MP9, they will know that the buy is definitely not the greatest. So. Bit of an easier round for CCG. Granted, we've seen some rounds where they should have won and they did not, but I feel like, especially with how they've been playing recently, they're not really leaving that much room for mistakes.
Nice molly. JB forced out of that sniper's position, and the frag gonna do a little bit of chip damage as well. Not quite enough to cause too much chaos, but it is still enough to get them out of the position, just long enough to trip to take over and take the shot. MJB is no longer, as already CCG has the advantage. That's the only long-range weapon completely taken down, unless you want to count the Eagle, but I really don't.
Ooh, JJ, big engagement and big frag. Finds the headshot on Ellis. Now A site. Execute coming in once again. And Rain just kills all over the map. You love to see it. CCG get another quite flawless round. I mean, last one they had 4 live. This one is, well, 2 players who are definitely going to go for it. Nothing to say for the pistol, but a very hard retake. So perhaps really fully flawless round. If Crib is hitting shots like that, it is going to be just that. 7 on the board for CCG. What a way to end the half now. Just got to focus on that pistol.
Focus on the pistol, and this is a great stepping stone for CCG to ride this out into the finals and into the win. All it is 6 rounds, and they have won this game, and they broke up the slump. However, if you notice at the top, the sides have switched. Things just got significantly harder for CCG, considering that Anubis is a very T-sided map. So things are definitely going to be easier for CarbonX going into the second half. However, one plus side for CCG is they have a bit of momentum, considering that they won the last 2 on T side, on the first half.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is such an important round. You want to win the pistol and be on 9-5 rather than 7-7. And with shots like that from JJ, that might be a step closer. Though Feral refrags, Rin's going to get some info. And if we look at the rotations, nothing just yet. I mean, CarbonX could really be anything. Yeah, maybe a bit of a B lead, but CCG don't want to overcommit. If Florida's going to keep hitting shots like that, it should be all over. Although, all done, RPM gets 1, but that's all she wrote for him. So, 1v2 now. A bit harder to clutch, but it would be great to see a clutch coming in from CCG. I feel like they've been on the receiving end of that for quite some time. This would be a great place to give one back. And who else than Trip? Man for the job, but as soon as he spots a player, catches a bullet to his dome and another bullet to finish him off. So, unfortunately enough for CCG, CarbonX pull 1 back, pull 1 closer to an equal scoreboard. And here, I mean, there's just going to be a... Hold on, they're buying a Mag 7. All right, let's go CCG. I respect the audacity. We'll see how good of a call this is. Such a scrambled buy as well, Tugger.
Yeah, I don't like the Mag 7. I respect the buy. I really like the buy. I just don't like the Mag 7. I prefer the Nova. But you know what? Mag 7 is for true gamers. And in this case, CCG is the true gamer. Look at that. Oh, this is a very aggressive angle with the Mag 7. If they push from the back wall, Floridia is just dead.
Yeah,
I
it's high risk, high reward. I mean, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. I feel like he's just trying to play very unpredictably. You know, you kind of have to play that when you don't have the rifle advantage. But yeah, I mean, for now, nothing really. There's one player who could be creeping up on him, but actually, with his teammate kind of checking towards Khan, they should at least be good for the info. Win is gonna peek, and that head glitch kinda. I actually discovered it in matchmaking a while ago. It's such a good head glitch, very hard to clear. And so Fry coming there, Feral on the other side gets a headshot and feels like this investment is a very poor one at that.
Yeah, the MP9's down. And sure, the Swag 7's still there, but nobody's pushing B. Nobody's even getting close to it. There are a couple of lurkers on mid, but in middle, the shotgun's going to get beat out every time by the rifle. Even the Mag 10. The Mag 10's still going to get better damage from range. And I mean, whenever you think range, you think of middle on a CS map. And in this case, not quite as true as some of the other maps, but still, it is an undeniable fact. Looks like
Yeah,
we see one save, but
scouting
the
for
exit
kills.
frag on the hunt.
For sure. Oh, Max 7? Okay, that's at least something back, you know. He's taking one player down. But it seems like that is gonna be it. Getting overwhelmed on the site, and okay, Florida goes down as well. Yeah, unfortunate. I mean, it would have been way worse if he died after the clock on the T side there, but for CT, it's not, you know, not the end of the world. What is kinda, at least for this round, is the cash. You know, that heavy investment in the last round, very risky, doesn't pay out. Now you're kind of stuck with, well, a full eco.
Swag 7 wasn't entirely donated. It was at least good for one. So rest in peace, Swag 7. But unfortunately, all risky buys must go to the graveyard at some point. And in this case, it was only good for one. Speaking of good for one, PLX2 has one shot onto the head of CCG player. But do they have any more? That's going to be the question. They start the killing off really hot. A site looks to be a little bit weaker. You've got to watch out for the player on the pillar. They just got the gun block. That's why you change your view model. Look at this trip. Double kill with the Deagle. Unfortunately, not good for 3. K2 will end that round. And instantly, the lead is back in CarbonX's favor.
Yeah, a pause comes in. I think it's, you know, probably not intentional, as it is not an actual timeout, but still, good time for CCG to just talk over what they could do here. CarbonX have taken the lead, and as they are on the better side, CCG really have to do wonders on the CD side here.
Yeah, there's so much work to do on the CT side, and it's so difficult because Anubis is so open. There's so many routes to the different sites. So much more freeing for the T side to push on, and it's a lot more difficult and a lot less freeing, you could say, for the CT side to hold it off. That's why it is really T-sided, and that's why it's very attacker-sided. Have to really lock up and lock in if you want to have a successful CT side. And so far, it has been 3 rounds in a row for CarbonX. CCG struggling a little bit. This is the rifle round for them, so this gives them the best chance that they've had so far, but they need to make something out of it now.
Yeah, this is the time. You do not want to be stuck on, you know, 7 rounds when CarbonX have advanced pretty much double digits if you lose this round. So, a big round coming in for CCG. Seems like it's going to be a pretty heavy B lean. A bit different, you know, CarbonX play 2A, they play 1A mid, and then, the same thing that Trip did. Well, it works out in CarbonX's favor this time. Mid is now open, side split in half, and as they are going for A, that is the better call for sure. Only one player to deny them, JJ, and he has actually gone undiscovered there, so he could get something, but just too good with the flicks today. Aim is on point for both sides, and this time CarbonX able to connect the shot. So CCG left to save pretty much. At least they're going to save the op. You know, this round pretty much a fumble. Losing that one player in mid almost solidified the round as lost. Well, they do get one, but yeah, have to adjust something for the next round. It can be that, you know, if they lose a player in mid, that the round is pretty much over. That kind of reminds me of Inferno, and Anubis is far from that.
Yeah, Anubis is a good map for them. I personally enjoy Anubis a lot better. I think Inferno is very awkward to play, and I mean, from the performance, CCG must have had a bit of awkwardity, if that is a word. I don't think it is, but we're gonna roll with it. If they did have struggles on it, and they can't allow that to roll over into Anubis. This is their map. This is their haven. This is where they stomp. This is their grounds. But it's not looking like it at the moment. 4 in a row for the CarbonX side, and they need to stop that before it gets 5 in a row, as double digits is almost upon them, and it is such a big advantage to get to double digits first, and CCG definitely wants to get there first, but that does not look like the case at the moment. Oh,
Yeah,
and the
let's
muff
switch up.
molly.
Two towards mid. That Molly is
Ooh,
going to deny trip. Some damage, but I mean, not too much taken there. So should be
that
all
was a
good. The
stealth
bigger
molly.
problem is... Oh, right. Yeah, didn't notice that. That
Yeah.
changes things a little
Ugh.
bit. Yucky there. B side under attack this time, and Rin goes down for it. It has to go so big, but is not able to get it one shot. Take down K2. Feral is just again too aware about everything, and just everything falls apart. Your trip can't hit his shots either. Gets taken down. 2 chances off for Rim to hit the shot, but does not happen. So it's starting to look a bit bad here. Once again, you know, the thing where CCG start off great, we just run out of steam. Unfortunate, but if that keeps on continuing, you know, it's going to be CarbonX on 13, currently on double digits. CCG have to make miracles happen here.
That they do, and they don't have the most money we've ever seen from them, as they should be able to buy 5 rifles if they really want to, but I'm not sure if they're going to. Then they might try to save up and try to deny them of round 12 rather than put their eggs into this basket, maybe put their eggs into next round's basket. But as this timeout goes along, it looks like people want to buy up. Looks like they want to try their hand at all 5 rifles and push them as far away from match point as possible. But I mean, the richest player on CCG or on CarbonX has 10,000. That's more than everybody combined on CCG 3 times over.
Yeah, this is going to be such an uphill battle, you know. Normally you would win a rifle, perhaps 2, and at that point, pretty much a freebie round, you know, against pistols. But this time it seems like CarbonX pretty much is going to have money until the end of the game, unless CCG go on an insane winning streak. So a very tough battle here. And once again, B bomb set. Last time, CarbonX pretty much took it by force, so they're definitely looking to do it again. For now, they're deeming it the easier bomb site to hit, but with that smoke being there, at least he's going to deny push for a little bit. No way Florida did. Okay, I thought he was going to push through the smoke. Not going to happen. CCG playing a bit more careful here. Trip, this time you have to hit your shots, buddy. This time you have to do it, and he does. Classic Trip performance there. Gets a headshot on PL. That Molly is going to give a lot of info towards CCG as well, so at least for now in this round, they look great, but we know how sometimes they can fall apart towards the late stages. Oh, and this time they are pushing out. Why Floridian? You had the player advantage. Losing it immediately to such a gamble peak. Unfortunate. And now it is going to be the B bomb site hit. And again, last time CarbonX were great at it. So this time they have to get denied. 2 RPM does get 1, but still, site to execute is in motion. Trying to get the site. RPM goes down. Rin's position is actually not spotted. Now it is, but he takes 1 with him. 2v3 now. This is so close. Everyone is just grouped up together. Smoke's denying visibility, but big engagements coming as Rin gets 1. He is single-handedly saving them in this round. That double is huge. Now Feral in a 1v2, and not like this, right? Like, there have been some clutches on CarbonX. He's on 32 HP, now on literally non-existent HP, and JJ finishes the job that Rin started. Rin, what a play in this round. Great positioning, gets those both frags, denies the early B-bomb site take, and puts some extra damage from his grave almost. So that is going to be CCG on 8. Pushing a bit closer, but as you said, Tucker, that cash is just too strong for CarbonX currently.
Timeout put to good use for CCG, and that gives them a little bit more money as well, keeping 2 players alive. And now they are able to full buy up. CarbonX has still money for the next couple of rounds, but it's definitely not as much. No $10,000 for you. They are still on double digits, but CCG looks to close that gap. They've already done 1. They still need to get 2 more. But this is all of a sudden looking very, very possible. All it takes is 1 more round like that, and then CarbonX might be looking a little awkward.
Yeah, I'd say 2 rounds just because of the cash, right? Like they're able, even if they all lost, Alpha 5 players go down, they get no cash bonuses from kills. They're still on great cash. They can still buy, and I think even in the next round they can buy. So because of their loss bonus actually kicking in. So yeah, kind of unfortunate for CCG, kind of unfortunate for us as well, as the third disconnect is in place. Again, this is not really our mistake, just something that happens when you spectate CS2 matches. Thank you, Lord Gaben. Either way, seems like we are back, and unfortunately Floridian goes down, so the bomb side execute. CarbonX really like, well, this time working out in their favor. Oh no, everything falling apart there. 2v5 now. It's going to be very difficult for CCG to, I think, even save these weapons. CarbonX with their cash, they're going to hunt for this.
Yeah, I understand why. I don't know if they know that there is an op on the board, but they know that there's at least 2 rifles. There's no reason not to buy up. So 2 RPM and Trip deciding to save. CarbonX looks to go on the hunt. The flash comes in. MJB does take 1 down, but Feral goes down as well. 2 RPM trying to stay alive, but they are just getting hunted down. CCG pretty much being hunted to extinction. And somehow Feral is getting away back into the water. Beautiful skyline, by the way. Beautiful
Oh, for sure.
view. But it's not so beautiful for CCG. As sure, it's very nice to look at, but the score line, that's not so nice.
Yeah, they have to do something about that B-bomb side defense. CarbonX have hit it 3 times in a row, and the only round where they didn't succeed almost immediately was that one where Rin came up clutch. But you can't depend on one player making a star level play to, lock down a bomb site. You have to figure something out, either positioning or utility, just something. I mean, I'm the caster, not the player, but it just seems like that bomb site is such a big trouble for CCG, and now might be even a bigger one as Run Pistol is actually looking to take the aggressive route, clearing out long, so at least some info given over, and they can regroup towards mid and A. Big engagement, JJ spots 1, but he's being spotted as well. And it is going to be the mid take, so actually Carbon, if they want it, they can go B. Have to eliminate the player mid. Engagements all across the board. K2 takes out JJ, and another one for K2. CCG slowly falling apart once again. They will have cash for next round to buy up, but that will be pretty much their only chance, as CarbonX are a few seconds away from getting to match point here.
The op is really good. PLX2 has a shot onto Ren. Trip getting away with an AK-47. Floridian pushing up, trying to find anything they can find on the ground. Scraps, a lemon, whatever they can find, they need to take home. But the only thing they're taking home is a bullet and a gravestone. And match point for CarbonX. And Twist, the playoff life of CCG is in grave danger.
Yeah, it is, and it doesn't look too good for now. They have to go flawless here. They have to be absolutely flawless, lock down that B bomb site, be good on rotations if it's A, be aware about mid as well, get much info. Like, there's so many things they have to nail, and not only once, not twice, but 4 times in a row to even take it to overtime. So, I mean, at this point, you just have to take it 1 round at a time. You can't look at the scoreboard, you can't look at kind of your previous rounds and go, yeah, it's probably over. You have to do what Rin does, a triple for him. What a way to turn things around. Rin, once again, the saving grace for CCG. He almost single-handedly won that round on B a couple ago, and this time, he has pretty much shut down the round completely. 3 kills for him, and seems like Floridian looks to finish the job. A flawless round from CCG, off of just individual aim, and I'd say some aggressive plays that perhaps CarbonX were not expecting. So, 25% there. 3 more rounds to go. Unfortunately, again, they've given so much rounds to CarbonX without really eliminating their players, to where their economy is going to be good to, well, at least 2 more rounds with 9K on enemy orange. There's definitely going to be a lot of problems for CCG in terms of enemy teams' economy.
Said they had to go flawless, and they absolutely did for the first one. There's still 3 more to go as JJ jumps right into the grenade, takes off a little over a third of the HP, and Trip with the AWP peeks out, has a shot, Feral peeking where they should not have peeked, and it gets them beat. As the Molly comes out, Trip gets forced out of that position, a little under 20 HP taken off of the health bar, as CarbonX looks to favor the A site. One player is defending it. If they can get one, that'll still keep them in the advantage, though. So CCG, things aren't all bad. They did have a really nice start, and even if they just get one, CCG might be able to ride this out. Like I said, all it takes is one kill and then a refrag, and CCG will still be in this advantage.
Yeah, JJ has to go big here. You know, if he goes down, it's down to a 4v4. They almost have the site, and unfortunately, rotations are down there from CCG with how much B bomb site has been hit. They're still struggling about that one, but it is going to be PL and K2 taking up the bomb site now down to a 3v3, and that rotation is coming in. But yeah, that's a problem. You know, Carbon have smokes. They have a lot of util to play with. Now they don't, but you know, they threw the smoke, so it's still just the nice time that CCG could use to clear out some angles. Big engagement for Rin here. He's been really great all throughout this game. Has to hit the shot and is not able to do it. But Trip, what is that? No scope headshot. Floridian gets another one, and it could be another round for CCG. They're keeping themselves by their nails in this, but they are keeping on. They are playing on. Trip, what a shot. Like no scope headshot wall bang. Absolutely insane performance by him. So now CCG reaching double digits. And again, the problem is the cash. They have to get 2 more rounds against full rifles, and that last one was really close.
We cannot forget that they are still not comfortable economically, and that is pretty obvious with how much money they got. Their poorest player has 350 after the buy, and I mean, if everybody loses their guns except for one, maybe they're only able to keep an M4. Sure, they might have won that round, but going into that last round, they are going to have hardly anything to buy. Meanwhile, CarbonX has a player that is over 7,000 with another one at 6,000 before the buy. So they are still doing really good economically. So even if CCG wins this next round, they've got to keep some guns for round 24, which is going to be all important.
Yeah, I'm starting to believe a little. That might be an issue. I don't want to put any caster's curse there. I'm kind of famous with putting caster's curses on teams. So for now, I'm saying, you know, may the better team win. Not putting all my eggs in one basket here, but I just hope that CCG wins. You know, I'll be honest. Two on the board. Now they just have to take it to overtime, and this time it is going to be B. CarbonX are avoiding it a little bit here, but actually Floridian is on the op as well. That's an interesting pick. Molly comes in. That is going to force the player out. No, but oh no, Rin caught with his pants down. K2 gets another one, and it's all falling apart. RPM has actually dodged the Molly, gets one, denies the bomb plant. Such a good play from RPM, and he still remains alive. That's taken down, and now it's down to a 1v3, which starts to look like a good comeback. Is starting to come to an end. JJ gets one, but has to be flawless here. Up against an op and a rifle. They know where he is. The bomb is going to go down. He does have a molly, so maybe he can force some players out in the open. Molly actually does some damage, and I think at this point he should know that at least one player is in that connector area. Unfortunately, there's an op on the other side, so he has to get a bit lucky with the op missing his shot or just... Hold on, he has a smoke. That is big. Picks up the smoke. Molly is going to go down to force things a little bit. He's defusing. They're going to try to push through the smoke. He's still holding on. He's defusing. JJ is not able to stick it. Unfortunate. Down to the milliseconds there, I believe. But CCG unfortunately lose it. The comeback was on, but no cigar.
And that marks 5 in a row that CCG has lost. This one was so close, but that seems to be the trend for this season. It starts off good. I mean, the whole season started off good. At one point, I believe the record was 5-1, and then 5 losses in a row now brings us to 5-6. And now the playoff hopes are in jeopardy for CCG.
Yeah, I mean, again, one of those games where it looks really promising. Same as yesterday. I'm starting to believe, and right then it kind of falls apart. A little bit unfortunate for CCG. I think definitely their CT side needs some work. The rounds that they did win were kind of off of individual plays. So perhaps, work on B side defense on Anubis would be my suggestion, I guess. But yeah, a little bit unfortunate. Now, still, they have those 5 wins they got early on in the ESEA advance. So perhaps in the next 3 games, if they win, I believe they still make the playoffs. But things definitely have to change. And another thing is when you're on a 5 loss streak, it just messes you up mentally a little bit. So hopefully they're able to recover. But at least for today, it is gonna be it.
That it is. Three more matches left, and I do not kid when I say this must win from here on out for CCG. It was for comfort, but now comfort is out the window. It's about getting to the playoffs any means necessary. Next match is coming up this Monday, the 20th of May. Same time, same place. So make sure you catch us there. I've been Tucker Haynes. This to my right, your left, has been Twist, and a big shout out to AppCon behind the screen for pushing the buttons and making everybody and everything look good. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you on Monday. Best of luck, CCG. Let's hope we can break this slump. We'll see you then.
Goodbye.